we're packing and I just hear a scream. I never ever heard anything like that. So my mom and I, we look at each other with like a huge horror in our eyes. So I'm like, I'm running, where are the keys? She's like, they're upstairs. So I literally dropped everything, run for my life, because it was Luna screaming. So welcome everyone in my channel. I do have in my description written that this channel is about me and Luna, and I haven't really properly introduced her to you or to this channel, and unfortunately this is gonna be a very weird way to introduce her, but I thought it could be maybe interesting to see what kind of process it is to, you know, go through this whole problem and what we've been through, and you get to know Luna a little bit. So I'll get to the story. My grandparents, my mom and I, we were on a vacation in South Moravia in the Czech Republic, and it's our last day of vacation. We were packing the car, and Fergie, that's our other dog that my mom owns, and Luna was alone in the room. They're used to being alone in the room, and for some reason we're packing and I just hear a scream. I never ever heard anything like that. So my mom and I, we look at each other with like a huge horror in our eyes. So I'm like, I'm running, where are the keys? She's like, they're upstairs. So I literally dropped everything, run for my life, because it was Luna screaming. Then I come to the room, and Grandma, who they had a room right next to us, she's holding her in the arms. She's not screaming anymore. Fergie is on the ground shaking, and Luna is shaking in her arms. So I take her from her, and I see that her paw, as you can see right here, she has it taped. So under a bone, you could see like there was a bump. And they call a doctor, they say go to Brno, and there they will help you. So we drove there. Luna got an x-ray, and as I kind of guessed, she had a broken arm or leg. She had a broken leg right here in this spot, and unfortunately couldn't operate on her. The doctors didn't have the equipment or anything they needed for the kind of operation. So they send us to go to either an other hospital in Brno or go somewhere else. So the first thing we do, we're trying to get home, and there's a place nearby Ústí nad Labem. So we called them, they were pretty mean, and they told us to go to Prague because their doctor, who specializes on bones, he was on vacation. So we call to some other places. They're not answering. It was Sunday, I forgot to mention. So then after all, my cousin, who was driving my grandparents home, and my mom was alone in the car with me and both dogs, Luna and Fergie. And we managed to call in Liberec, which is 2 hours away from where we live, but on the part of the country where we're from. Luna is looking. Here's how to check my grandparents' dog who's running around. So we managed to go there. They looked at her, they looked at the scans, and they told us to come on the next day to get the operation. The doctor mentioned like it's a bad fracture, unfortunately. And so what that means is that because she broke it super low, kind of close by the wrist, it's a place where Chihuahuas or small breeds like her, the blood flow is not the best, so it heals pretty badly. And so there were 2 options for her operation: to put this like small piece of metal there, but you have a higher chance it will break if the dog stamps on it, but there is a higher chance of the bone growing together, or to put a bigger piece of metal, and that one wouldn't broke, but because it's big and the bone is small, there is oh, you can see the little tail here. And so the bigger piece of metal wouldn't break, but there's a higher chance the bone would reject it and the bone wouldn't grow. So the doctor decided for the smaller plate in her leg, but mentioned we have to be really, really careful. And so that's why you see the cage right here next to us. This is how she has to be kept, and she cannot go out unless like I put her up in the hands like this. And so she's been there already for 3 weeks. After the operation, we got the cage. And she's been there, she's been a really good girl. We managed that one side of the cage is for peeing and the other she sleeps. We always are changing the pads and everything, and we give her some toys and some like biting things so she would have something to do. We give her water, she cannot have it in there so she wouldn't put it on her little cast. And so for 3 weeks she had something like a cast, but you don't put cast on animals. Like this little like stronger thing around her arm like this, and then taped, as you can see right here. And so that she had for 3 weeks. It was a pain and it was horrible because sometimes it fell and I didn't know what to do, and then I had to retape myself, and oh, it was a struggle. And I'm a little overprotective doggy mom, right? And I'm scared so we wouldn't have to get in trouble and break the leg again. She had that like that for 3 weeks. Yesterday we went to an x-ray and the doctor told us that it's growing good. It's growing good. Right, Luna? And he's gonna take that cast away and just gonna keep a tape on her leg. And now she's gonna be like this for 3 weeks. And we go for another x-ray in 3 weeks, and if she's all good, then she gets to normally walk and be out of cage. And I'm sure she cannot wait for that, because Luna is a super ADHD kind of dog, and I don't know if she's ADHD, but just a, you know, typical puppy, wants to run everywhere and jumps up and down. For a Chihuahua, she has a little abnormally long legs. That's maybe also why that broken arm happened, or broken paw happened. So it's been hard for her, you know, being in the cage like this. But I thought we would share a story to you, and we'll make one more episode when she gets to run and be free again and be a happy dog again. But she's taking it really well. Sometimes she squeezes in the cage and barks at us when we see we're eating, but she's getting enough food and she's loved, and we go there quite a bit, give her some kisses and take care of her, and she's in good hands. And we have a really good doctors, I have to say. The ones in Liberec were really awesome. So yeah, this is Luna. You can see her in stories when she was healthy, or like in the little reel section of my profile. But there will be more videos with her when she's a little happier and doesn't have an injury like this. But thank you for watching. Subscribe. This channel is kind of about a lot of stuff about Luna, about us traveling, some thoughts, my life experience, because I lived abroad for many years in many places. Right now I'm living in the Czech Republic, partially going to Sweden, where my partner lives. So yeah, say bye, Luna. Bye bye.